Good evening and welcome to BlogTV. Joining us on the couch tonight, we have two new members of Parliament, Ling and Vikram Nair. And I'd like to wish all our Hindu viewers as well a happy Deepavali. Thank you for joining us. Now, both of them delivered their maiden speeches in Parliament last week, and we're checking in with them on that.
That's right. So far, they've spent about 180 days in office. They're here to tell us how they've settled into their new roles as MPs. Now, first, we have to address this. A lot of questions have come through over our forums and over our comments section.
People are saying, why is it that we're only having PAP MPs on the show? There is a reason for this. Apparently, for the past 3 months, our producers have been trying to approach MPs from the opposition. We've tried to invite MPs from the Workers' Party on the show, but they've declined and they've shied away on being on the show with us.
That's right.
But we do have one recorded interview with one new opposition MP. We're not going to reveal who he is. You're going to have to stay tuned for that. You're going to find out his side of the story as well.
That's right. Before we actually start our questions, we want to urge you to send in your questions as well. Either tweet us at BlogTVSG or leave us a comment on our Facebook page, blogtv.sg.
So keep those questions coming in during the commercial breaks. We'll have a look at them and hopefully we'll be able to pose these questions to the MPs as they join us now.
All right. Okay, first question, I suppose. Hardest thing so far. What is the hardest thing so far about the job that you've started out?
Well, I think one of the key challenges that I face is the need to balance the sometimes competing needs of residents. Just give a very simple example. There are some residents who love the trees because of the shade, the greenery, but then there's also another group of residents who would prefer to chop them down because of it attracts birds, leaves get blown into the house, creating a mess, or even for some feng shui. It's a matter of feng shui. I think so far in such instances, I always find it quite useful to listen to them, tease out the underlying concerns and try to address them and bring various parties as well as relevant government agencies together. It also helps with the process of discussion and coming together with the best way forward. I think ultimately we recognise that the community is a diverse one. And so we need to drive through the point of coexistence and living in harmony.
Vikram, you mentioned that being an MP is actually a lot tougher than being a lawyer.
Yes, absolutely.
What was the one thing that you really didn't expect when you became an MP?
I think in terms of the additional workload and responsibilities, I had a sense of what it would involve because, you know, I've been helping out for years now.
What's the one thing that when you entered office and you're like, oh my goodness, I did not see this coming?
Well, I think within a week I was a dead body in a water tank, so that's not the sort of thing you expect.
That's true.
But,
what was that like for you?
I was stunned, actually. You know, I think it was the eve of Vesak Day, so I was supposed to catch up with some friends that evening. I had a message from my constituency, you know, saying, oh, something has happened. Then a bit later on, something's happened, there are police here. And then it was only much later on that I found out that, you know, someone actually died. And, yeah, and that the body was in the water tank. So at that point, I just went down straight away to find out what was happening.
So what did you learn from that you never knew you needed to be equipped with as an MP?
Well, I mean, I think at that particular point in time, there were a lot of very specific issues that were raised that, you know, even went down to, like, you know, what was the security at the water tank area, you know, why didn't we get immediate information about this? So, you know, and I guess there was an expectation that all these things would already be done. You know, that was an expectation that I would have had as well because our lives are so smooth normally. Until something goes wrong, you don't realize it.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, well, Ling, you had a much tougher time, I think. You know, everybody knows about the controversies. Some people have even, you know, tried putting up petitions for you to quit. You know, when things got really, really tough, why didn't you quit?
Well, I've always been asking myself this question over and over again. Why am I doing this despite all this? I mean, it's understandably, actually, it's not a pleasant feeling. But I thought that having met residents and heard their problems, you know, there is like real bread and butter issues.
Did you feel that you could have been better prepared, though?
I think, yes, I could have communicated better, make clear my positions earlier, but I think on hindsight, anything could be said.
Do you think you could have been better advised?
Well, perhaps, but really on hindsight, we were just making the decisions based on whatever information that we had.
Okay. Well, BlogTV actually went out to the streets to actually ask members of the public
for questions.
For questions.
But they didn't give us any questions, they gave us comments. So we're about to see what they're about to say.
Why did she choose to run in this elections? Only things I know about her are all negative. I can't think of it. I don't really like her, you know.
Why don't you like her?
I think she's not fit to be my MP. Sorry.
Okay, first question off the bat, all right? We just got to get this out there. Are you a bimbo?
No, I'm not. I've never seen myself as a bimbo. Yeah.
So there is a huge public perception that you are not fit. What have you done to actually correct this image?
I think to correct an image takes time, and it's a continuous process. So,
But do you feel like you're actually doing it? Do you feel
yes.
like you've made headway in doing
That people
it?
are taking you more seriously these days?
I think yes, because the natural me, that's how I conduct myself. I know myself, my friends who know me. And I think over time, as I interact with residents and people,
But what if people come up to you and said, gee, we thought you were like this, but, you proved this wrong. Exactly what is it that you feel like you've corrected in terms of people's perceptions of you?
I think the main concern back then was she looks young, she's a young person. Can she really represent me in Parliament? Is she able to solve the problems that I face, be it municipal or in life, the more major things? And so I think actions speak louder than words. And I think since election till now, I've been trying my best, work hard on the ground to solve these problems for my residents.
But age aside, have people actually approached you and said, we thought you weren't of a certain caliber, of a certain type of personality that we thought was appropriate, but now they come back to you and say, you know what, you proved us wrong. Have they actually said that?
Actually, there have been such instances over email, messages, even sometimes in person.
True, but there are still some people who do have negative impressions of
yes.
you. 5 months, you've already been, giving it your all. Is it still very discouraging?
No, I think the more important thing is that what makes me make this decision to step into politics, and that keeps me going. And as I mentioned earlier, really when I meet residents, knowing that they face real pressures in life, that puts things into perspective, and
okay,
that gives me
let's keep
strength.
this conversation going. Let's play the next video.
Okay.
This is actually on you. Comments on Vikram Nair.
Vikram Nair.
Alright, do you know who Vikram Nair is? Sorry? Vikram Nair. No. You don't know who he is? Okay, alright, cool, thank you. And you've never heard of Vikram Nair?
Yeah, I think she's like the aware or something, right?
Oh no! It's actually a male who drank water out of that water tank. You know, the maid that drowned in the water tank.
Oh, okay.
He drank. Yeah, you do, right? If you could, what would you ask Vikram Nair?
We want to swim in the water tank.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Do you drink dead people?
No, not normally.
Not normally.
Yeah.
Back to my question. Now, it appears that not many people know you, Vikram. How are you planning to change that?
Well, I have no desire for fame, and I'm not too troubled if people don't know
You're
me.
an MP. People need to know who you are.
I think my residents need to know who I am, and if they do, then I think that's probably enough for me. There's actually, I think, a lot of benefits to being anonymous, and I'm quite happy to have at least a little bit of that.
All right. Well, we're just about to take a very short break. Still to come, we will hear from an opposition MP, and we've heard this many, many times. The stories have been all over the place, some differing. Tonight, once and for all, Ling clears the air about that entire situation about cooling off day. Stay tuned.
We'll see you in just a bit.
Welcome back to BlogTV. Tonight we are talking to MPs Ling and Vikram Nair, and throughout the week we've been soliciting your questions either through our Facebook or our Twitter.
That's right. Now, someone tweeted us, and it's for you. It says, Mr. You received a lot of flack during the general elections when a member of your campaign staff broke the rules by commenting on your Facebook page on cooling off day. And actually, on a separate note, I received a lot of flack just reporting on that story. Oh. That's right. Food for thought.
Okay.
Now, would you like to clear the air over this issue?
Well, I think...
What's the real story? There have been so many conflicting reports online, honestly.
Okay. Well, all of the team was caught by surprise. It was totally unintentional. My friend was helping to... I put her as one of the moderators so that in the heat of the campaign, because I wouldn't have the time, so she was helping me to upload photos. And I think on the day of cooling off day, it was totally unintentional, and she just responded with a comment on her mobile phone. And it appeared in my name because she's made an administrator as well. So, and that, I think, caught the attention of many. And I didn't want to comment a lot on that because it was under investigation, so it was inappropriate. Then, I think, quite recently, the police made a statement to clarify and that the air was being cleared then. So
What happened to your assistant?
Oh, she
Was
is...
there any disciplinary action and all that?
I think the police issued a warning, but that's pretty much about it. I mean, it's really unintentional. She's my friend, and I stand by
Vikram,
her.
if you were in her shoes, if you were caught in that same situation, how would you have reacted?
I would always come clean with the facts, which I think you did. So,
I did,
yeah. I mean, as a lawyer, one thing I tell all my clients is the same thing. No matter how bad the case is, come clean with the facts, and then we'll make the best arguments we can.
Okay, now, in your case, Vikram, you were misquoted, actually, recently. You're one of the panelists at a forum. You were misquoted by the Associated Press.
Yes,
So
right.
you said something, basically, they took it out of context. It went in a complete spin in terms of its meaning. And what happened was that there was a huge uproar over the internet. Netizens were saying that he had a cocky attitude. He was extremely high-handed. But it was because it was based on this misquote, which you did not say. But you went on Facebook to clarify this entire saga. So how do you deal with it? Now you're in UMP, you're going to be, you've been misquoted already. How do you deal with this?
It was interesting because I was actually out of Singapore when it happened. So I think when I got back, all my friends were sort of telling me, hey, you're being flamed online. Did you actually say that? And when I looked at it, I was stunned because the message it gave was the complete opposite of what I actually said. So I put up a note to clarify it. And what was interesting is the immediate response to that note was people were like, oh, who said this was Associated Press. And, why don't you go sue them? And a lot of people who actually didn't believe me. And then eventually Associated Press actually published a clarification. So I think at that point, the issue died down. But I actually noticed the clarification hasn't been published nearly as far as the misquote.
Actually, that wasn't the only thing that you were flamed for. I think earlier before that, you were actually flamed for your support of Ling.
Yes,
looking back,
right.
do you regret that and the flack that it actually brought down on you?
No, I mean I'm always a straight shooter, so I just say what I think I feel on an issue.
What did people say about you?
I'm not sure what the exact comments were. I think what happened was after I said one or two things in support of Ling, I think someone actually dug up my old address and phone number and sort of published it on the web and says, oh, this is the person who supported Ling, do your worst. I didn't get harassed myself, so I guess it wasn't that bad. But, people who were looking out for me were sort of saying, hey, all your personal particulars are online.
So that was the first for you?
That was the first, yeah.
All right, well, we head to our calls. We actually have a listener a viewer on the line right now. His name is Brandon. Brandon, are you there?
Yep.
All right, Brendan, your question, is it for Ling or is it for Vikram?
It's for both of them, actually.
Okay, what's your question?
I just want to ask them if they think constituents look up to their MPs as leaders and representatives or just an avenue to solve their problems.
All right, Ling, would you like to answer that first?
Well, I think residents do look up to us for different roles. I think one is the leader, someone whom they can place their trust in, but also someone who can help solve the problems at the municipal level. Because at the end of the day, for MP, there are two levels. One, at the municipal level, there are certain issues that they hope that the MP can help to solve or facilitate. But also at the parliament level, the national level, that we can be their voice to reflect their concerns, their hopes and aspirations.
But do you think residents see new MPs more as followers or as leaders?
I think this is something that we need to establish ourselves to our residents.
Do you feel like you've established that already?
I think it's a continuous process, and I would certainly still continue to do my best to establish myself with my residents, to gain their trust and represent them as best as I can in Parliament.
Vikram, what do you think of when it comes to putting yourself out there as, I'm sure you want to be portrayed as a leader, not a follower. Do you think through this?
Well, I think I mean, most of the feedback I do get from residents actually pertains to their own problems. So in that sense, I think everyone wants you to solve their personal problems. But at the same time, I think where the problems have a systemic cause, then you have to probably, raise it up in Parliament and so on. And I think, for me, I think, being a leader is something you have to earn. It's respect you have to earn by, I think, doing work and helping the community.
Okay, this is a very important question. How many people come up to you to clear their parking fines?
Not that many, maybe a handful.
I have a chat with you about that too.
A handful at each MPS.
Just one more person coming up to you.
Well, Brandon, we want to thank you very much. We certainly hope that answered your question.
Thank you, Brendan.
Thank you.